I'm Anne, and I've been involved with the drop-in centre at St Salvador's Church since it began, almost before it began. On Sunday afternoons, we can have up to 75 of the local people who feel the need of company, food, a listening ear, a pleasant, safe place to spend an hour with refreshments and with a bag of a modest bag of messages to take away with them, whether it's to home or whether it's to a homeless hospital. Some of them are desperately hungry. Most of them are quite lonely. A lot of them are depressed. Many have financial problems, debts. A lot have relationship problems, and most of them have a mix of the whole lot. Other thing we do, which is as important as this sort of stable basis for people we know, is to be there for people with an emergency situation who may be homeless or they have been sanctioned, their benefits have been sanctioned.
I only got out of jail in November, and see when you get out of the jail, your head's sort of all over the place because you're used to getting everything done for you and stuff. And I forgot to sign on once, and then see my next signing on time, I didn't need to sign on because it was Christmas. No, it was closed over Christmas, so there was nothing I could do about it. I didn't find out till when it opened up again in January that it had been sanctioned till the end of January, for just after November. Now that was a sanction that I didn't even ken about. You know what I mean? No explanation, no letter through the door or nothing. A decision made behind my back that I didn't ken about. And I've been left with, I come out of jail on November the 21st, you get 1 week's money coming out of jail, which is £72. And I got a £47 emergency payment for the job centre, and that's all the money I've had for November for them. If it wasn't for things like this, loads of people, probably me including myself, I'd probably be back in the jail by now. You know what I mean? Just because I would need to go out and commit crime to get something to eat. You know what I mean? So they're really handy. There's loads of support here now. And like you can get support with housing, homelessness, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, the job centre. And I'm pretty sure if you ask them about anything else, if they weren't able to do it, they would put you in contact with whatever agency you need to do. As I says, the people that run them are brilliant. You know what I mean? They should, I've said that. Some of them should put them in for them Pride of Britain awards and stuff. Definitely. Definitely. Some of them are pure saints.
Well, it first started, our own minister at Coleside mentioned that they were needing someone to help. So I said, well, I would go once a month. That was my intention, one Sunday a month. But one Sunday I thought, it was cold, and I thought, maybe they would like soup. So I asked Anne, she said, yeah, it'll be all right. So, of course, made 1 pot of soup. And since then, it's been every week 2 pots of soup. I really feel blessed that I'm able to do this for them because, you know, I'm lucky that I have what I have and they have nothing. We're setting up a cafe in Coleside, community cafe, and hopefully once it gets on the way, I'll be helping there as well.
I think it's important that already we've got the drop-in place at Elim, we've got the very special services at the Steeple, we've got just so many different kinds, and most every day of the week there is at least one place, but there need to be more and scattered more over the whole city.
We have a church here in Whitfield, so we wanted to give something into the community. So we looked at the scripture from Matthew 25:35, that's when Jesus says, I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. And so we thought, on a practical level, because I'm a very practical person, I thought, what can I do? So we decided that a cafe would be the best idea.
I enjoy coming to the cafe because I'll enjoy the soup and toasties and people sit and talk to you and things like that, and just love coming to the cafe. You get a food pack if you need it. If you're like short of money, you get a food pack. Debbie helps you out if you need it.
We also have people who've been sanctioned, and there seem to be sanctions for a whole variety of reasons now. We have people who are on benefits and struggling to meet the need. And also, I think as well, one of the reasons that we really wanted to see this up and running was that wages are very low now. And even if you've got 2 people in the household working, by the time you've paid your rent and your council tax and everything else that has to be paid, there's not a lot of money left over. So sometimes just to top up at the end of the month, people will come along and have something to eat, just to take the pressure off their money and their finances. And it's been a real experience getting to know people, seeing how we can help them, how they can put something back in again. Because if you're volunteering, then you feel as if you're doing your part. And really the cafe could not be run without volunteers. Everyone's a volunteer and they're amazing. They're making toasties, doing dishes, they're serving people, they're sitting down and just interested in whoever's there. And I think that that's something that you can't pretend. If you have a love for people, then it shows through what you do and what you say and how you act. Yeah.
My name is Rizwan Rafiq. I'm an operations manager for Top by Mohammed. What we do is we're an outreach program that helps tackle social injustices, but also try and build an understanding between the Muslim and the wider community. We've been taught through our faith as well that he who sleeps on a full stomach while his neighbour is hungry is not one of us. You know, that's one of the sayings, and you know, it's about empowerment. So even for us to do a budget cooking class, not only does it help empower people, it also helps individuals build confidence in cooking, gaining skills, getting to know people. And this is a big thing in somebody's life, because sometimes when you look at it, you might think budget cooking class sounds like not much, but when you look at the actual impact that it has on an individual's life, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, we're doing budget cooking classes throughout the communities in Dundee, and I think you couldn't find a more appropriate time for that, because with welfare reform and stuff, I feel that it's kind of the most needy who feel that healthy eating is out of their reach and something not attainable to them. So what we do is we do these budget cooking classes, show people how to reduce their food waste, how to store food properly, all these things to cut their food bills, hopefully budget properly. It even ties in with food banks, because we try and use basic ingredients that people might get in a normal food package, how to make good recipes out of that. Easy, quick, so even people with only very basic knowledge of cooking would be able to do it. So I do think that it's filling a really important need in society today.
I come onto this course through Mary from Smart Loan Parents, which has brought me on quite a lot, because I was quite into myself, wouldn't go out, wouldn't do nothing. This group's helped me to meet new people, do a lot more new things. And the Asian cooking group's been one of the best things I've done here, because it's just learning new stuff, learning new ways of cooking, and it's all thanks to Sema and Rizwan. My kids love it. My kids absolutely love the food, especially the carrot pudding.
Our groups in Stay and Play in St Ninian's Church, that's more about the budget cooking classes, but again, it's giving them the confidence. A lot of the mums don't feel like they can, and it's only when you break things down they realise actually that was quite easy, but they just wouldn't have taken the risk themselves to try. And I just feel that it's not just about learning to cook, it's kind of boosting self-esteem and self-confidence as well, which is so important for the people that we're dealing with.
As a support group, we listen to what the parents are most concerned about and asking for. We have examples of parents who have problems with sanctions, and as a result of that we became involved with the Connect team, and they have done training with all the mums, and now are coming in once a week on a drop-in basis, even just for an hour on a Monday. And if any parent has an issue, that can be addressed at that time.
I think the service that we're providing is essential, because there is more changes coming. Some of the changes that are already in have not been rolled out to the full. We're already seeing the impact of that on people's finances. So it is really important that we are there, because people are going to need us more than ever. when all the changes start coming around and the full impact of them is felt. Dundee has one of the highest number of sanctions, so we do get a lot of people coming and asking for help and advice for that, because they don't know how they're going to live or survive, or what else they're entitled to claim during the time if the sanction's upheld, or even how to go about appealing things. So there's an awful lot going on out there with the problems with the benefits.
Been sanctioned before. I was on income support and living on disability because I had depression from a young age, and later on I'd then fell pregnant, so I'd come off medication, but I still had depression as well, but I was obviously not so badly affected while I was pregnant. And when I was 30, I think it was 30 weeks, they sent us for a medical, and because I wasn't on medication which affects you when you're pregnant as well, they'd cut us off and sanctioned us. So I had to go back and fight it at the fact that obviously I was still depressed and it still was happening, but I was obviously trying to be strong for the sake that I was carrying a child. But no, there's no really any much support to do with mental health issues. I think they just think, oh, it's just depression, it's fine. Couple of pills and you'll be fine. If you're not on pills and you take it, you're not depressed, but it's nothing like that.
Next term, we have a termly programme, and next term we're going to actually get help for the mums to write CVs, because although they say they have done nothing, they left school at 15, they haven't done anything. Yes, they have. When you actually start, they brought up family for a kick-off, they're running a house. And going down to the job centre is not necessarily the answer. In fact, I'm not sure it is the answer. It's very important that there are opportunities for people that can go and find work within the city.
Here at the Friary and at Gilfillan Church down in the town centre, we're running a IT drop-in where we're helping unemployed people on benefits with becoming more confident with using computers for their job search, and helping them do things like update their CVs, or just giving them more ideas where to look for work, so they don't worry so much about the possibility of sanctions. I'm unemployed myself, and I know that it can be something that makes people pretty anxious, and I think it's really positive that the church is going out and helping people. We're not like preaching to people, we're just going out and helping people, and just helping them to improve their lives, taking practical steps.
For us here in St Mark's, we very quickly realised as a group that there was a need for people to have the right information and to have it quickly. And so one of the first things we did in dealing with looking at welfare reforms was to produce a crisis leaflet, which allows people to see very quickly and very easily who they can go to, which organisations will help them, and it also specifies the specific need. So if they need help with money, if they need help with feeding their family, they can very quickly get that help. But we realised that that wasn't enough, because it became very clear to us that amongst ourselves, amongst the volunteers that we work with, there's not a lot of knowledge on sanctions, who they're applied to, how they work. And so we felt it was very important that we provide training on sanctions, and we get it from the people who know. So that it was important to involve the Department of Work and Pensions. It was important to involve one of the folks from the food banks who would be able to explain the work that they're doing. And it was also important that we heard from people themselves, individuals who'd been affected by sanctions.
I had a fantastic lifestyle. I was married, I had the bought house, the 2 cars, the foreign holidays, I had everything. And then gradually it began to disappear. First my husband walked out, then I had to take on extra jobs, and eventually lost 2 cars. Lost everything, lost absolutely everything. and it came to a head when my son died, and that's when I hit absolute rock bottom. So I was on the wrong benefits. I got told that I was able to go to work, which I wasn't. I definitely was not. And I had to start going in to sign on at the job centre. And my mental health was so poor that I was forgetting what day I was going to sign on. I was then sanctioned, which was absolutely, for someone with poor mental health issues, it made me feel very vulnerable. And I had to rely on other people to help me. It was devastating, absolutely devastating. I then had to appeal my sanction, which took quite a while because we had to get a date and everything sent out when we were to go. And when we went, there was 2 women sitting behind a desk, and it was terrible. It was really, really terrible. It was like they were asking loads of questions, just general questions that could have been directed at anybody. And if I didn't give the correct answers, then you get points. It's a point system, which I think is terrible, because my mental health was in a terrible place as it was with losing my son, and then with the sanction, and then everything else. And I won the appeal, but if it hadn't been for the letter from my psychologist, Pat Gilmartin, there was no way I was going to win that appeal, because I was answering the questions truthfully. It seems like the truth doesn't meet the criteria, but the people who were asking the questions don't know me, so how can they judge me on a personal basis? It just feels totally demeaning that you're put in a position where you get hit with the lowest amount of money to live on. Fair enough, it's benefits, and we're not having to pay it back. But I've worked most of my life, and I don't deserve to be treated the way that I get treated, as I'm sure most people have. And just a wee bit of respect, made to feel as if we count, made to feel as if we're important. Important enough for a hello, a thank you, instead of everything we say being twisted and turned round to make it sound like a negative, because we're in a bad enough place without getting made worse. Made to feel worse. And that we're not just a number. We are human people. Have respect for ourselves, so it'd be nice to other people to have a bit of respect for us.
It's really good to see communities pulling together, to see local organisations coming together, individuals coming together, to make a difference, to make changes that need to happen in order to help the people who are in most need. But that's not enough. It really is not enough. In order for real change to happen and for lives to be improved, we need to have some kind of national response. A response that means that everybody is working together on this. Because we need everybody to make change happen.